what anybody says. They say it's a no contact order. That's a restraining.
It's a restraining order. That is literally the
Away from
definition of a restraining order.
Like a like an exact distance away from that person, and you can't even look at them. And if you do it, like, and if you talk to them or anything, then you like get eye service.
It's a restraining.
Yeah.
Ah. So, how many of y'all knew about this? Greetings, salutations. This is TNathan. It is 10 o'clock. I don't care what any other body's clock says. It is 10 o'clock, not 10:08. I am not late. I am all time.
So you're 8 minutes late. Oh, and guess what? My phone's supposed to finish around. My phone. My iPhone 14 Pro.
Yeah. I-14. Greetings, salutations, nephew. Yeah. In case you all were hearing that background, that was me and the Crumb Snatcher talking about restraining orders being issued in the school she goes to against students. How do you go to a school? And I'm not talking about a high school. We're talking about junior high. And you have students having restraining orders against other students. How does that work? How's it going to work out? Yeah, I'm late and I got a lot. Not the kids calling you out. Jay, you hear everything but what you're supposed to. Jay hear everything but what he's supposed to. Yeah, yeah. They need to be in bed anyway. What the hell they doing up? It's 10:09. It's 10:09 when I want them. They should be in bed, right? But no, they take advantage of the fact that I am live. What's up, Cam? Where you been? Where you been, Cam? Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Greetings and salutations. Today, the third president, day three, day three, and the day I am calling. Let's turn back every civil rights. Let's turn back every civil rights legislation in History Day for the current White House. Um, while people sit back and say they're not doing anything. Yeah, I was in here last night on the moon. My comments must have gotten eaten. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your comments got eaten. No, I know you. Yeah. Okay. Um, today is a day. How you all doing? I was gonna ask myself that. Where you at? Why was it doubling? Yeah. Why is it doubling? Right. So, greetings and salutations, everybody. How you all doing? How have you been keeping up with? Have you been keeping up with what's going on as far as the 1965 Equal Opportunity Employment Executive Order signed by Lyndon Baines Johnson and the restrictions placed on hiring under a violation of that order, and also birthright citizenship. And let me tell you something, because I was talking about birthright citizenship and how this executive order that he signed was going to adversely affect the 14th Amendment of the United States. And people are telling me, like, well, it can't do that because it can't violate this and this and this. Yeah, none of them can until, yes, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States is precedent until it's not. Until it's not. The idea, we don't seem to want to wrap our minds around the reality that, yes, it is precedent until it is not. I mean, does that make sense? Do we understand that? And people are like, oh, it's never going to happen. Yeah, you all never thought a 34-time convicted felon would be the president of the United States, right? I don't know even what you're all basing it on. But today has been a day in trying to explain the 14th Amendment. Everybody go get their copy of the Constitution. And I'm just talking about Section 1. Just Section 1. Trying to explain Section 1 of the 14th Amendment to the United States as birthright citizenship is housed in because everybody is on vacation, talking about they're not going to do anything for the next 4 years. When the 14th Amendment literally came into existence to give slaves and their descendants the right of citizenship in this country. And then because you all want to interpret it, oh, that's just going to affect immigrants. And so therefore, we're just going to let it play out. Y'all lost your goddamn minds. Yeah, and then for the person who's talking about I was trying to shame people that are doing nothing into doing something, yeah, no, I'm not trying to shame anybody into doing something. I'm just letting you be on notice that to be inactive in the face of injustice is to be complicit in that injustice. And not only are those who perpetrate the injustice my enemy, but those who sit back quietly while they know it's happening are also in the same basket. Take it how you want to. If you're waiting for me to take that back or tone it down, you're in the wrong place. I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that. So if you feel like the hit dog in that equation, then I was talking to you. I'm talking about you. So I don't want to hear about why you're silent in the face of injustice because you're complacent in the face of injustice. And that makes you an enemy. At the end of the day, anybody who's not working towards stopping injustices and standing up to oppression or complicit in the oppression. That's why I said in my video, everybody's still going around here trying to have these kumbaya moments with Republicans and the Donald Trump administration. I said I would never. But no, I was told. I was told there was a plan. First, I was told there was a plan, just to be patient. It is now January the 22nd. The inauguration occurred on January the 20th. Donald Trump has passed more executive orders, returned other executive orders, not from just the Biden administration, but going all the way back to Lyndon B. Johnson. You all want me to still wait for this plan you all talking about? Still haven't had my apologies ran yet. Well, I'm just saying, we are 2 days after the inauguration of Donald J. Trump, and I want to know what this plan was because the plan, obviously, I said it was non-existent, but I'm giving to y'all delusion and say that the plan is not planning. Yeah, this plan y'all had is not planning. What convention you all had? I didn't get invited. Nobody asked me for my input because yeah, it would involve fire. But the plan is not planning. It was amazing to me to watch more people concerned about the return of TikTok than are concerned about the things that this president has already done. Do you understand? He just put every DEI staffer on leave pending termination. Every DEI staffer in the government is now on leave pending termination. And when I say it like that, because we're not just talking about the program that literally fell under the 1965 Equal Opportunity executive order that was made to do something about the historical systemic racism that was inherent in this country and the affirmative action that white men had going on ever since the founding of this country to address some of those disproportionate inadequacies. No. And then they got people saying, well, it was in place for 60 years, so we should be. Slavery was in place for how long? The discriminatory practices against black people continued how long past slavery? And 60 years. Yeah, that's why there are only two black women that head Fortune 500 companies, right? Because today I watched white people fall over themselves talking about a merit based system that easily I could disprove the merits of some of these people that have jobs in these positions in less than 5 minutes. But it's a merit based system. We want a merit based system. No, you want a white system. And then people also, and then these people that sit around doing nothing are so crazy to me because even if you're not, if you're not a black man, a black woman, or a brown person, are you disabled? Are you disabled? Because those same freedoms and opportunities to job placement extend to you too. Disabled people. Yeah, but like I said, we're gonna continue on. I don't care what color we are. We are all slaves to America. And I think you're stupid. I'm just saying. I think you're stupid because in that statement, who's the master? I think you all say these cliche stupid statements in my life because you are used to them not being challenged in other stupid ass lives. That is a stupid statement. I don't care what color we are. We're all slaves to America. Unless I missed when America, the land, got up and started cracking a whip on everybody on it, that statement holds no validity. Who are we a slave to? It's like in our society, everybody's a slave. So who are the masters? Who are the masters? Greetings, Rain. Yeah, this is not the place, the day, or the time for stupid ass cliches. Because if I see it, I'm probably gonna respond to it, and then You can wait for me to make the apology video because I'll make a video saying, been told it's not that my facts are wrong, it's my approach to those facts and calling people out. And I want you to know from now on. From now on, I'm gonna do everything in my power to piss more of you all stupid ass people off. What's up, C Beard? That's my real homeboy right there, Mississippi bred homeboy. Look, you understand? You're not. That's the kind of apology you're gonna get from me. Yeah, it does that. Maybe some missed. You lost the sauce. What you got going on? First, I'm not your honey, and made sauce in the last 12 hours to be lost in. Usually, sauce is lost in somebody else, but I digress. Yeah. So I don't know what you sound. You sound stupid. Still, she. What's up, Jones? Yeah, you sound stupid, honey. You lost in the sauce. So, like I say, are you literally built of contradictory statements? Are you literally going to die on the hill of cliches, yeah, talking points? Yeah. No, no, I'm a threat to democracy like you all don't want. No, the kind of threat I represent to democracy is because you all don't want that. You all don't want that. Yeah, no. I'm going to build a system that works equitably. Yeah, and not equally, equitably. Yeah, that's what we're going to do because this is amazing to me. It is amazing that I keep hearing people that look like me talk about letting the plane we're on crash before we can even exit. They're not doing anything to help me get off this plane because most of you all can't fly. Can't fly. You have no parachutes. You're not going to survive a plane crash, but you're sitting there fiddling while Rome burns. You're going to get a lot of references to make you. Hopefully, these metaphors will sink in eventually. Yeah. So this is what you're going to get from me. This is what you're going to get from me. And the next 100 days of and like I say, going back to is this going is, or is the birthright citizenship going to be challenged? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Are we going? Is the Supreme Court going to set it aside and say the 14th Amendment covers it? hopefully, but people understand when they say stupid shit to me like, "Oh, the Supreme Court will handle it." You mean the same Supreme Court that handed Donald Trump or American presidents this unprecedented power that was never outlined in the Constitution that they handed to them, and Joe Biden didn't even use it. But you think you understand that even if it is challenged and won, it's an eventuality, not it's an eventuality. It's an eventuality, just like the set aside of the 1965 Equal Opportunity Act that took place in the latest round of fuckery. Yes, these people are going on leave today. They're going on leave today. They're going to lose their jobs. This white man, this senator said it's a good thing that the economy is so strong because they can go find jobs somewhere else. You like that is the standard, and then to say, well, we're for a merit-based system, and if you work hard, and the man asked, why are there only two women, black women, as Fortune 500 company CEOs, and he said, I guess they need to work harder. Did you just say that black women need to work harder to obtain the rungs of power in this country? Work harder than the white man that knew a white man that knew another white man that when he needed a job, he called that white man, and that white man made sure he got that job. Merit or not. Merit or not. The family nepotism is not a problem with me. I just think we should show you all what it really looks like. I think we should really show it. Like, don't get me involved. I don't care about nepotism because and a company that doesn't have the protections of whiteness, then yeah, that is nepotism in its own way. But yeah, it is amazing to me the amount of stupidity we are seeing in the current arguments over what Donald Trump can and cannot do when this man is signing executive order after executive order. Just like you said, hey, when I was talking about Donald Trump is going to rename the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of Americas, and they wanted to go through some lengthy 5-second explanation for why it couldn't happen. And I'm like, how do you think these things got their name in America? I pointed out the Arabian Gulf versus the Persian Gulf. It's the same body of water. It's the same body of water. Yeah, it's called the Persian Gulf by most people in the region, and it's called the Arabian Gulf by the Saudis. And guess what? The United States Navy calls it the Arabian Gulf also because they don't want to piss off an ally like the Saudis. So the first executive order that one of the first executive orders to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of Americas was signed, as well as to change the name of Denali, the highest peak in North America, back to Mount McKinley, based on a president who's never been to Alaska, and change the name of Denali. That was the indigenous name of the mountain. Literally, you have a mountain that was named Denali, and the national park, if you know, is named the Denali National Park. So you've changed the name of the mountain back to McKinley in the middle of Denali National Park. And you all say, "Oh, it can't be done." What do you mean it can't be done? Who do you think? Who? What do you think the Geological Naming Board of America is about? And he was like, "Well, we'll never call it that. No matter what you call it, that's what it's going to be called in federal documents for the next 4 years at least. At least." So all this, when you all tell me what can't be done in the face of what is being done, or even acknowledging that even if we challenge some of these things at spots, that there's still the flood. You don't understand the office of the executive branch of this government at all, because an executive order has the force of law when it comes from the department that enforces the law. The executive branch is in charge of enforcing law. Yes, those laws are supposed to come from Congress and be approved by the Supreme Court, but until somebody challenging them, guess what executive orders do? Yeah. Yes. Nobody's gonna want McKinley GLCs. Listen, listen. The Mount McKinley is named after. It was renamed Mount McKinley. It was Denali first, and a gold prospector just decided when William McKinley won the Republican nomination to start calling the mountain Mount McKinley. You just traipsed into somebody. You just literally traipsed into an indigenous area that already had a name for the mountain and decided in your whiteness that, you know what, I'm going to dedicate this mountain to William, and I'm going to call it Mount McKinley. And everybody was like, yeah, that sounds right. And then we're going to have a whole ass discussion about it's been the Gulf of Mexico for hundreds of years. Yes, and other countries will still probably call it the Gulf of Mexico. Missed my point entirely. Yeah. Colonizer Mountain. What's up, Star? Colonizer Mountain. Yeah, you colonized the mountain in the middle of, of an indigenous national park. You can't make this up. So when I hear people talk about, well, this can't be done or this can't be done, and I say, precedent is precedence until it's not. Yes, you understand that the Dred Scott decision was a thing. You do understand that, right? You do understand, and I want to, and then I have to correct some things that people didn't know were true, like the memo directing the memo directing the federal government, um, attorney generals, state U.S. attorney generals, to start prosecuting people who try to interfere or shelter immigrants. Yeah, you understand? That's a memo because actually it's been a prosecutorial offense. The federal prosecutors just use it in is this called discretion, prosecutorial discretion, and they decided they weren't gonna. But you know what that does? That makes it a federal possibility for a federal charge that anybody protesting the removal of an immigrant from an environment or situation could be subject to federal prosecution. Anybody want that one? Anybody want that one? What did I just miss? I just saw something got deleted. Ooh, as soon as I turned, it was gone. Ooh, I want to know. I want to know. Somebody tell me what was deleted. Yeah. Going to make it a federal offense. It's already a federal offense possibility, but now he's basically directing the United States Attorney Generals to. It wasn't that interesting. Get up on that bed. Get up there. Lay down. We're not going anywhere right now. I love you, but not right now. Lay down. But that is a reality. It is a reality that now when they're basically trying to preempt the protests that they see coming. There's something about how his family's been recycling genetics for generation. Oh, like the way you put that. I would have just said inbred. Yeah, but it's the idea that these things are happening and people are talking about everything except them. It was like I say, it never amazes me. It never ceases to amaze me that no one's talking about the reality of how we deal with of what is happening instead of assuming that somebody's going to save us from what is happening. Is does that sound just crazy just to me? Is that just crazy just to me? I'm just checking, asking for a friend, and right now the friend is sitting on the shelf bobbing his head. That would be Little T. Little T is sitting over here bobbing his head. Yeah, leave Bella alone. Her lawyers are here. Yeah, Bella's whining right now because she just gonna have to wait. Creative ways around the filter. I get it. So, but does this sound the acceptable thing to anybody but me? Is this what we're doing now? Is it what we're doing now? So let's take a listen to some things. Don't. We're not talking about Carolyn Brink. we're going to talk about this.
Real quick, are you all still sitting everything out for the next 4 years? Okay. While you all think about that, I know some of you all are still in your feelings from November the 5th. And is it too soon to talk about what was the plan before we had inauguration? But I digress. All that for another video. Right now, I want to talk about an executive order that was signed by the current occupant of the White House on their first day in office. And it's called Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. And it is a direct challenge to the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, birthright citizenship. And this is the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. And Section 1 is what we're going to be talking about because the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States was submitted for states to consider in 1866, and it was finally ratified in 1868. Do those dates sound familiar to anyone? See, while the 13th Amendment theoretically in slavery in this country. The 14th Amendment here is what gave those slaves citizenship in this country. So the citizenship of slaves and the descendants of slaves is tied to the 14th Amendment. So just in case you don't have your own copy of the Constitution of the United States, or it's not close at hand right now, I'm going to enlarge this so we can read Section 1 together. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections of the law. And that is the 14th Amendment's first section, the section which this executive order, signed by Donald Trump his first day in office, seeks to dismiss. I thought it was the height of irony that in an executive order that seeks to set aside the protections offered to those born in the United States, that it mentioned the Dred Scott decision. And it said of the Dred Scott decision, it was a misinterpretation of the Supreme Court. And it misinterpreted it by saying that the Constitution, as permanently excluding
Can
people
y'all
of
hear?
African descent from eligibility for United States citizenship solely based on their race. If you understand the nature of the Dred Scott decision, you understand why this executive order is a whole ass problem. Because it goes on to state, but the 14th Amendment has never been interpreted to extend citizenship universally to everyone born within the United States. 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, Section 1, literally starts off with all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. I get it. A lot of you all are on vacation and you're not planning to do anything for the next 4 years except watch the plane you're on crash. But understand that if this is not challenged, it will be a change to the interpretation of the Constitution of the United States in an amendment that was designed to ensure that the descendants of slaves, as well as the slaves that were freed at the end of the Civil War, were citizens of this country. Let that sink in. So, I'm sure by now,
Hold
all of you
on.
all know the Roaches for Raid, Rocky Rack. Real welcome to Georgia.
First. Now, that's the first one. That's the first. That is birthright citizenship, right? That's the one that people like asking me questions about, and I'm telling you, it's precedent until it's not. It's precedent or not. I'm also watching. People want to tell me, well, it takes this, it takes that. the executive order should have never been written in the first place, and he wouldn't have submitted the executive order if he still was not prepared. I know people like to think Donald Trump is stupid. Yeah, I know that's a thing. You think that just he's just haphazardly depending on his whiteness to get through this. Donald Trump has white people around him that are highly intelligent, and they do understand the nature gunshotting a lot of executive orders towards a system that is already leaning in his favor. Yes, some of these executive orders will be set aside. Maybe. Maybe. I say that, but it's only based on presidents of old. But at the end of the day, a lot of the shit that they're going to be is going to make it through the sift. A lot of it is, and to listen to people not understand that and how it impacts not just the others that people talk about they don't care about, but how it impacts us, how it's going to impact black and brown people. When you say that you are directing your attorney generals to prosecute people that shelter or immigrants in this country, that means um, every church that has immigrant programs and outreach programs that do. You're basically telling people they have to snitch. I'm going to be snitching. So if you don't see me for a while after at a certain point, it's because I wouldn't snitch. I'm not snitching. Yes, undocumented individuals get food. Um, as a matter of fact, I put myself in a position now where I don't even ask, or even talk about it. If I talk to somebody, I say, "Hey, another American, nice to meet you." Let them know. Yes, I don't know any. I do not know any undocumented immigrants in this country. That's it. I do not know any undocumented immigrants in this country. And it needs to become the mantra of everybody who wants to help undocumented immigrants in this country. Yes, I don't know any. Yep, I did not. A lot of us are going to be protesting. A lot of you all need to keep bail money ready because it's not an option for me to follow this directive. So it's not an option because it's unjust. So we're going to be. I want us to fill up the prisons. I want us to fill up the jail space so much they have no more room to put us in. And then people will start to listen. They're acting as if they are going into schools in Oklahoma to take the children. 750 per in is no illegal, no immigrant is illegal, is what they are trying to do to get people to snitch it. Yeah, and we have to stop using that word illegal immigrants. They're undocumented. They're not illegal immigrants. Immigration is a process of the Geneva Convention. They are undocumented. That is true, but they're undocumented. You can be an undocumented immigrant for a number of reasons, all involved seeking asylum. Yeah, undocumented, because we start to legitimize it when we start to call undocumented immigrants illegal, because no one's calling Donald Trump the illegal convicted president. We just call him a convicted felon. Yeah. Um. People. What was that statement? They're acting as if they're going into schools in Oklahoma to take the children. Who's acting like that? Somebody help me. Who did somebody say anything about any acting? Did I say anything about acting when I said that they are authorized? And I want to get into that. I'm glad you brought that up because actually it has never been illegal to do that. It's just been a policy to not do it. It's a policy, and that's another thing. It's like there is no legal statute saying we that ICE cannot go into a church to arrest an undocumented immigrant. There's no law that says it can't be done. It was a policy of consent that wasn't done because it would have been destructive and disruptive to church proceedings. Yeah. So I can do this all day off the top of my head. Yeah, I can do this all day. Um, and you're talking to somebody, friend over here, kids. school office today talking about a student being removed because of their immigration status. This is another thing. Right. And understand this challenge that you all talk about that will eventually come of this executive order will be later. If the That's why it was so important that they destroyed their deportation procedures as quick as possible, because they know some of this stuff is not going to hold up. But in the interim, while Republicans delay, deny, and depose, while they're doing that, there are going to be people just like you remember when the young lady was deported from Texas, and her children were deported with her, even though she was an American, even though they were American citizens, because all of three of them were born on this soil, and then they had to fight to get back to her husband that she was married to. You understand that yes, we knew they were going to come back, but just imagine millions of people falling into this category and how many of them are not going to be able to make it back. We're talking about spending. I don't think y'all understand this. The money we're spending to mass deport and going to be mass arrest, and the strain is going to place on the economy. We could have been better served finding a pathway to citizenship. We could have been better served by spending that money to get judges on the bench to hear these asylum cases. We could have been better served in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. Mass deporting children who are Americans because you're saying their parents are not Americans, when the 14th Amendment clearly states that if you are born on this soil and under its jurisdiction, you are an American. Yeah, trillions of dollars. Inflation is going to triple. I don't even think you understand. And inflation is going to triple for a number of reasons. Not just the money that it's going to take to do this, but the money that is going to be lost to an economy because all of a sudden you all don't want everything on your table when you go to a restaurant. An immigrant had something to do. I feel like if anybody watched. Oh man, just True Blood. When he walks in and say everything on your table, yeah, everything on your table that is affordable is because of immigrant labor. Yeah, I'm only the fourth generation from Denmark on my mother's side. Yeah, you're safe. You made it to generation four. Yeah, you're safe. You can hide out. No one's gonna look. No one's gonna ask you. And I don't know. I don't know. I can't snitch. I don't know. It's rain. What generation? People say, well, start deporting. If you're not past the fourth generation, who do you know that's not past? Yeah, shut up. But I'm gonna tell you, I made a reference to Orwellian double speech, and I was amazed that people didn't know what I was talking about because they read this order, and I don't expect everybody to read, or know what Orwellian is, but double speech. I thought it had found its way into pop culture. I thought people knew what double speech was, and for those double speech is to say something that is basically the opposite of what you're saying, like President Donald J. Um, Trump protects civil rights, and the next executive order to play you a video on, and it's like, yeah, doesn't look like that to me. I'm only 20% Scandinavian. We're just gonna cut you into only 80% of you can stay. You get to choose what 80% gets to stay in. Remember, believing that if someone made it here, they were safe. How belief change with education. Exact one world. Good. To understand that to understand that there is an international convention that the United States signed on to when it comes to refugees and those fleeing persecution in their country. It's literally international. Around that, did you all know we have withdrawn from the Paris Climate Accords and the World Health Organization? You do understand. On his first day of office, executive orders were signed withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization. We will no longer be reporting our statistical findings to the World Health Organization for the purpose of tracking epidemics and medical conditions. We will no longer be engaged in the practices of trying to lower carbon emissions in our country as outlined by the Paris Accords. And let me tell you what that does. That shows the rest of the world that at best, the United States can only be counted on for 4 years during a term of presidency to be a part of anything that the president signed. The idea of how this undermines the authority of the United States on the world stage is not missed. Is not missed. Yeah, I don't. The coup made a Facebook post about the U.S. leaving. They did. I haven't. I've been so busy. I haven't even read that. I want you to all listen to this right quick. And this is about
Orwell's
minutes.
1984. And this executive order signed by President Donald Trump is an example of double speech. President Donald J. Trump protects civil rights and merit based opportunities by ending illegal DEI. Now, before we get into what this executive order signed today does, let's take a trip back 60 years ago to 1965, and Executive Order 1124-6, the Equal Employment Opportunity Executive Order, signed by Lyndon B. Johnson as part of civil rights packages. This executive order was an attempt to right historical wrongs caused by the disparities in hiring practices of the federal government that heavily favored white people. Executive Order 1124-6, a cornerstone of the civil rights movement, prohibited discriminatory practices in hiring and employment in government contracting and asserted the government's commitment to affirmative action to address historical wrongs. Historical wrongs that had been in place since this country's birth in 1776. This executive order by Donald Trump reverses all of that. In his order, he states he's protecting the civil rights of all Americans and expanding on individual opportunity, when in essence, amongst the provisions in this executive order is the elimination of any reference to diversity, equity, and inclusion in federal government contracting and spending. And the justification for this reversal? According to this executive order, the government would instead focus on speed and efficiency. Under this Orwellian double speech executive order, the office that oversees contracts for the government would be prohibited from pushing contractors to balance their workforce based on race, sex, gender identity, sexual preference, or religion, the very things outlined in Johnson's Equal Employment Opportunity Executive Order of 1965. This executive order is just another example of how this administration has moved swiftly to eradicate all programs and practices in the federal government aimed at addressing historical systemic inequalities in this country and an erosion of all the gains made since 1965 in accordance with the civil rights movement. Allow me to be clear. This is why I say that everybody who supported Donald Trump is the enemy, and I will not be looking for any kumbaya moments with the enemy. Also, everybody who is silent in the face of injustices because of their hurt feelings, you are complicit with the enemy. I said what I said. Feel about it how you will.
Did you stutter? Did you stutter? So, did that come through clear? Asking for a friend. Was I clear? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, this is and this is just, I've only talked about four executive orders. Four executive orders out of all those who were signed because these are not even these are so egregious. The order defining there are only two genders in the United States, and then basing that on reproductive functions. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Make it make sense. If my boss ends up in my trunk, I'm like, you're blaming Uncle T. Yep. Yeah. What's up, Shay? It is exactly that. It is exactly that. It don't make sense and never will. And I want thank you for that comment, Rain, because it brings me back to the comment earlier where it said somebody said our government is in chaos. For whom? For whom? Because it's humming right along for the people that are humming it. For whom is it in chaos? Let's see. We don't have the same definition of the word chaos because this rollout of these executive orders are perfection in process. And I see that's one thing I never will do with my enemy. I never underestimate my enemy. I am watching the progress. This is the kind of rollout of executive orders that Democrats should have been on. The kind of time that even the end of Biden's term, it was like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. No, this is definite. This is one thing I will acknowledge is I will learn my enemy, and this enemy is efficient, if nothing else. Now, is it going to hold? I hope not. I wish the government was in chaos. Then I would be like, wouldn't be worried about these things. But this is not chaos. Don't make that mistake. Don't make the dismissive mistake of believing that this is not planned. It's going the way it's supposed to go for the rich white man. It is going the way it's supposed to go for his base also for now. His base for now. When they start reading, when they start understanding what the Department of Education actually does for their children, and it's going to talk about going the way of the dinosaur, they're not there. There's a certain thing you can be too stupid to even notice that the water is boiling that you're in. But for now, yeah, yeah. Because here's what we're doing. We're going to get ready to mass deport. We're sending troops to the southern border. We have declared an invasion. Do you understand the language of invasion? And the president of the United States is required by constitutional directive to protect the United States from invasions. So if we allow the speech that what's going on at the southern border is an invasion, then military forces can be sent to the southern border, um, not just for administrative functions, but with live ammo because it's an invasion and our military is about another function of the military is to repel invasions. Yeah, when their medication triples in price and they have to decide to pay a bill or get meds or buy food. You know what? Even Rain, I'm still thinking when it gets to that because Donald Trump is such a messiah complex, means messiah image to them. They'll still for a couple of more months hold on. it, these people have deified this. Did you all hear the Fox interview? I know nobody likes to watch Fox, but did you all see the exclusive Fox interview that Donald Trump gave today? Anybody? Anybody see the part where he said Joseph Biden did everything but pardon himself? It's like the threat was so real. The threat was so real. And technically, I think Joe Biden's last month in office, his executive orders, the way he moved, the way he didn't care. I wish he would have had that the first 4 years, the first 100 days in office. I wish he would have committed himself to not being anything but a one-term president and doing everything he's doing now. Then, and we would have had 4 years of it in place. We would have had 4 years of it in place. The January 6th pardons, right? All the people were talking about he's not going to pardon the violent offenders. He's just going to pardon the non-violent ones or the ones that were there for trespassing. Ain't nobody been federally prosecuted for a trespassing charge alone. Stop it. But you know who didn't get pardoned? You know who didn't get pardoned? Black Lives Matter protesters that were charged with federal offenses that range in less severity than, I don't know, storming the Capitol, breaking in, and assaulting police officers. I'm literally watching, I'm literally looking at video of some of the people that were pardoned literally assault police officers. Literally assault police officers. And he go through COVID to get mixed drinks to go to drive. Do you understand? Do you understand the party that is supposed to be about backing the blue engaged in activities that fuck the blue, and then you turn around and fuck the blue again by the very people that were fucking the blue? You, oh shit, it's 10:58. For some reason, I thought it was 11 o'clock. Hypothetically, I have a speech impediment, and I say forget, and it sounds like I'm saying the F word that goes with uck, but I'm saying forget. This is why I can't do. But anyway, it is what it is. But that is amazing to watch. I said fire truck. Thank you. Yeah, fire truck the blue. Right. Until until we get to until we get another minute out the way, then how much time do I have before I can say fire truck the blue in another language? But that's the reality of it. That's what I need y'all to keep up with. Keep up with what time can I start to go into higher forms of cussing. Maybe that might do some good, but it probably won't. Thomas will probably be just Thomas good. It'll be just good. He'd be like, okay, no, no, another $100 for tonight. Never gonna get paid for this show. Never gonna get paid for this show. All my money, all my profits go into the tip jar. But at the end of the day, I still don't care. Honestly, I don't care because at the end of the day, the message must be spread. The difference between a revolutionary and somebody who wants a pat on the back is that revolutionaries do revolutionary shit. Point blank. I have an idea for a cuss word, sir. What's up, Light Post? Yeah, Cash App, Tina. Yeah, Cash App, Loki is something or another. Yeah, right. Exactly, if you care. But at the end of the day, that is the reality we live in. At the end of the day, we are watching executive order at the we are watching the changing of government executive order executive to watch the Democrats. Is is it too soon? Is it too soon? 2 days into the first term of the 47th president to ask Democrats, what was their plan? I want the people who told me there was a plan, and I don't know everything, to tell me what was the plan. Yeah, all those people that told me I didn't know everything, I want to know what was the plan, or what plan did you conceive of that could possibly be going on in the background. Yes, I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna be petty as fuck because I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know what was the plan that you all were hoping for. When was this plan for this go into effect? Was it would you did you mean that the plan was actually after he took office? Is that something? Did Joe Biden do something in the White House that's going to did the Democrats? I don't know, somebody. It seems like the Democratic Party is officially over. No, the problem is it's not officially over, Shay. That's the problem. The problem is they're not officially over. And don't get me wrong. There are people that I believe if they had more support could really rally some things. But they don't. It's like and don't get me wrong. The Republican Party could be over if we would just work a little harder. It wouldn't even take much. If we collectively we got rid of Vivek Ramaswamy. We got him in Ohio talking about running for governor. He's not a Doge. Even though the president of the United States just created a federal department without the approval of Congress. But hey, It's precedent until it's not. People don't even realize that. Congress is the one that creates federal departments. The Department of Government Efficiency, with Elon Musk at its head, was basically an executive order. And guess what? Because the Republicans control the Congress, they're going to go along with it. Folded chairs and, well, yeah, we need some twisted teas. That would have been a plan at least. And for all of you all that look at me sideways when I said January 6th didn't hurt the Republicans, it helped them. And you told me, what did y'all tell me? Oh no, that won't happen because they did this and that did that. I said January 6th helped the Republicans, and people told me I was crazy. All those people walked out of jail yesterday. All those people walked out of jail. Yeah, I think it's because people are like, well, they're gonna serve time in jail. Y'all have a delusion of what prison really is. Is prison harsh? Yes, it is. But if you survive it, if you got a 10-year sentence and somebody lets you out 2 or 3 years into that sentence, it's a win. It's a win because the punishment that it was extracted by the state was not carried out. And not only that, then you get your record expunged of that very crime. And then you get invited to the White House. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison and alone at times too. So he was the only person in Valdal for a long time. But I digress because you all have this moral idea that somebody is sitting in prison talking about, oh, I am such a bad person. Though the leader of the Plow Boys came out of prison and said there will be retribution for the people who put him there. And he's a snitch. And he's literally snitched to the feds. Why? He literally snitched to the feds, but he told them they would be. And some of it's trying to keep the heat off his. But they don't care. They take snitches. They take snitches. It was like, yeah. I was listening to his interview, and I was like, you just forgot that we know you snitched, right? I was like, yeah, go, you do your thing. Chicago in here. What's up, Lisa? Bella and Pinky are just fine. Pinky is going to the I've scheduled the exorcism for Pinky for the weekend, and we're going to see how it works because it must be that it must be something demonic, and I don't even believe in demons. But now I'm willing to try an exorcism on Pinky. Yes, we will be trying an exorcism because I've tried everything. I've tried drugs. I've tried yelling. I've tried everything. It doesn't work, so we're going to exorcisms. And if exorcism doesn't work, I'm just going to go to the next. I'm hijacking the next Miss Rocket and try Mars. Yeah, that's, I am gonna leave her alone. I am. That's on the list too. If exorcism doesn't work, exorcism, nail trimmings, all that. Her nails literally grow back. Her nails literally grow back overnight. I'm just saying. Yeah. Pinky, yes, Lucifer is an angel also. All of the fallen angels were angels. Did you read that story well? Yes. They were all angels. Yeah, that's not a stretch. Yeah. If that's your defense, I'm gonna win that case. Yeah. I'm not gonna disagree. I would say yes, they were. Yep. Yeah, at the end of the day, they were. Um, I'm really enamored with the. Hey, T, do you think it's wrong? I think at least 90% of people have been performative. I don't think you're wrong. I think you're true. But I've been saying this for a while. I've been saying a lot of the creators you all follow are performative. Are performative. I've been saying that. Yeah, I'm not being funny, but I've even named names. I've told you all. I've told you all. A lot of the creators you all follow are performative. A lot of the creators that you donate your money to are performative. I've told you all that. Any fam, any fam in here? How many times have you heard me say that? How many times have you heard me tell them that? That yes, it was all about social justice during the George Floyd, during the summer of Black Lives Matter. Now it's all about hawking products. It's easier to make a video on the topic than to go out. Right. Right. I thought about that during the day of service. I was when I was streaming live, and I thought about that during the day of service. That people were always talking about, well, we don't do this or we don't show this, because you don't do it. You don't do it. I've watched people do things for clicks and views, and I'd be like, yeah, if you did it, you would be. It is, and don't get me wrong. I don't care about performative if the performative led to actual work. Like it's like doing. I remember telling somebody when we were talking for black people, right? Saying that most of y'all talk about these things are performative. Just like Sonya Massey, a lot of people were giving misinformation. They were just performative. They wanted to be clicks and views, and I annihilated them. I annihilated them, but it doesn't matter because those videos get hundreds of thousands of views and likes, and my video count on it, we get about 20 thousand likes, but it doesn't overcome that because it is performative. It is performative when we listen to people talk about um, John, they don't know anything about the case. They just talk about it. But I also believe that if that does reach people who are going, like out of the vast majority of the audience that they reach, most of these people are not going to do anything. But every now and then you're gonna get 10 or 12 people together and they're gonna be like, hey, I need to look into this. I need to do more. Like, yeah, like it's, and so, but at the end of the day, most of it's performative because they're just talking. They're just talking, and it seems to be. And I did my skit earlier, and I was posting that skit for you all, but people don't want to be told that they're not doing shit. I noticed that. I've had people under my videos, the one I made about injustice, and if you're so quiet in the face of injustice, you're part of the problem. And I had people under my video talking about, well, we this and we that, and trying to justify to me why you're inactive. And I'm like, and? Or I had someone tell me, well, young brother, your facts are A1, but could you work on your delivery? You're alienating people. How in the fuck am I alienated? It's 11:10. I am clear. How in the fuck am I alienating people in a fight against injustice if you stand on fighting injustice? Do I gotta prioritize your feelings over me using the word fuck more than I'm prioritizing the liberation of the people suffering the most? Make it make sense. I'm guilty of sleep, work, and repeat. I need to find some groups to work with in 2020. The things I've learned from MLK very whitewashed, and it's my fault for not correcting that. I don't know until you said that ML Day was supposed to be a day of service. Yeah, and that's what Coretta and that's what Coretta wanted. Coretta didn't advocate, and I tell people all the time, the King Dream was kept alive and by Coretta Scott King, not by Martin. Martin gunshot wound in April of 1968, and that's not even belittling. Not saying he did, but the dream was kept alive. The by Coretta Scott King. She literally put it on her back, just like Betty Shabazz put El Haj Malik Shabazz dream on her back, and made sure that people didn't forget. If it wasn't for those two women, amazing women in their own rights, you all don't know how amazing Coretta Scott King was in her own. Even Selma only told you a glimpse of how amazing Coretta Scott King was. No matter what I feel about Martin, the respect and admiration I have for Coretta ranks up there with um, Fannie Lou Hamer for me. Because even though she was more quiet, she was the one that moved the mountain. She was the one that the FBI was so misinformed about who Coretta Scott King was. They thought they could send her recordings that would have been doctored to sound like her husband having affairs on her. That line in Selma was only when he was like, because if you want to get technical, when Dr. King was, they were listening to the tape recording, and he tells Coretta, "That's not me." She was like, "That you didn't have to tell me that because I know what you sound like doing sex." That's what they didn't put that whole line in there, but that's what she said. So I know what you sound like. I know what you sound like. Can you imagine the? And I know I'm getting off, but you got me talking about Coretta. Can you imagine who you have to be in your security for people, for the government to start a campaign against your husband and count on you to be the breaking point? I tell people all the time, if you really want to get down, if you really want to get down to it, Coretta Scott King was stronger than Martin. I know, I know, because he gave all the speeches and he did all the yeah. But Coretta, when when you realize that when he called and said that he was sad, or he when he got mad at her for meeting with El Haj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X, and said what he said out her his mouth about you seem, and she was like, "What?" What I want to say, I can't say on TikTok. I don't know. I don't want to offend you, good white people, right? But when she said what she said to him, what? And all of y'all know what I was about to say. It ended in please, right? It started with another word. It ended in please. He got right because he realized that was his emotions talking, because she was talking facts. She was talking facts. Correct. People didn't realize Coretta Scott King is the one who met with Malcolm X when Martin was in jail in Birmingham. She's the one that went to him and told him, get your life together when it comes to Malcolm X." She was the one who did that. Her and Betty Shabazz met all the time and talked about what their husbands needed to do. So don't, I feel bad now that I've never completed my historical project on her now. She was built differently. And that's what I say. When I listen to people talk about they just gonna have lunch and they part of this and they part of that, I was like, it's no way. It's no way women like Fannie Lou Hamer and Coretta Scott King and Betty Shabazz will be joining you all on the sidelines. Who do you all think these women were in the fight? In the fight. And they had to do everything the men did, walking backwards and raising children. So don't play with me. Don't play with me talking about I'm trying to shame you all into doing something. No, I'm just holding up the reality of black women that have never wavered. Like I say, never wavered. You didn't see you when Coretta lost her husband. Don't you all talk to me about losing an election. Don't you all talk to me about your damn feelings because an election was lost. Coretta Scott King lost her husband to an assassin's bullet on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee, August 4th, 1968. And while weeping the loss of her husband, while raising her children as a single mother, she still put the dream on her back and made sure Martin's words would not be lost and enshrined in Atlanta. She did not say, and no one could have blamed her. If she said, you know what, I lost a husband, I lost the love of my life, I'm done. I'm done. Shabazz could have said the same thing. I'm done. Medgar Evers' wife, Mary Lee Evers, could have said the same thing. I'm done. These women lost their husbands, the love of their lives, to the civil rights movement. But they never went out to lunch while the plane that they're on crashed. Never. All the lead actors had most respect for her when I was growing up. January 6th defendant has been rearrested on firearms charge just one day after. Listen, Listen, I have never wished that somebody do something bad, but I know they're going to do something bad. They're going. I believe the one oath keeper. He's going. I think he's going. I think he's going to get rearrested for trying to kill his wife, his ex-wife. I do, I do. And just like that, all of these are going to be. Yeah, prosecutors moved to dismiss the Capitol riots case following President Trump's clemency order. Yeah, they finally got it copied. Yeah, like I say, guess who's still in prison though? Black Lives Matter protesters from all over the country. They look. You understand that the federal government, Troy, decided to pick up cases involving Black Lives Matter protesters federally, even though they should have been applicable under state law because states passed on some of the prosecution. Yep, the people that have revolutionaries in their blood then quit activism because of petty beef. Yeah, yeah, and that's what I tell people all the time. Um, I don't think continue this conversation, but I want to continue it off conversation with TNathan. I want to open up another alive, but I know it's 11:18, and everybody does insomniac tendencies like me, and then get up in the morning, and it is. I don't think you'll notice, but I said I was going to stop going to the gym every day when I hit 50. I said that. I said when I turned 50, I said I was going to stop going to the gym every day. Not that I was going to stop taking care of myself physically, but I was going to stop going to the gym every day. Well, if you will be proud to know that it only took me 7 years to keep that resolution. I do not go to the gym every day anymore. So, and I don't know what to do myself sometimes at 4:30 in the morning, except do some push-ups. Yeah, okay. I'm not in the gym. It's a working process because I do push-ups and I do sit-ups and things like that. But I don't go to the gym, so I have more time now to spend because I'm still woke. I have more time to spend gathering information and things like that. So it is official. I have allowed my gym membership to lapse, and that is my commitment because then it just offers me more time to do the things I do. And plus, it's like you're on the go all day, every day, most of the time, anyway. Except when there's enough snow to come. If the snow comes up to my ankles, yeah, I'm over the day. I'm over the day. I'm just drinking hot chocolate, reading news stories, and watching Bella walk out in the snow. Yeah, I am. I'm not going out in the snow. So it is official. So now I'm saying that because now you all have more time uh, to deal with me, and yeah, my anxiety about not being able to throw a haymaker, but I still got it. I had to test myself. I'm still on my punching bag. Don't worry. I still work. I still do katas and I still do my martial arts every day. But I just cut off the gym. Uh, we actually got some snow today. Good. Metal Melter. Yeah. Yeah. So committed myself to sleeping the entire way to Alabama in March. That's the lie I tell myself. I said I'm going to rest because we're going to Alabama and I want to be in peak condition, so I might hit the gym like the week before we go to Alabama. But I don't have a membership anymore. So, and plus, I can't afford a membership and do all these things. So this is what we're going to do, and you actually y'all actually got to deal with me, and then this is why I'm the labor force. I'm gonna tell you, it's like when metal is here and I'm the labor force. I don't have to work out either. I get to carry stuff. Yeah, I get to carry stuff. I get to show out. It's something about being 57 and still being able to lift heavy ass shit all the time effortlessly. It is a flex. It is a flex. It's like I remember when we get to air conditions, and I was like, "Oh, Metal, you putting them in? I don't need you to carry them." I was like, "That's all I do. I carry air conditions, right? That's what we do. I don't care if it's just one snowflake. If I see snow, I'm not going outside for nothing. When you Uber on Selma instead of March, yeah, no, don't worry. It's like, yeah. So." if you all want to, I might be back live in a few minutes. I gotta take Bella out. I gotta take the trash out. I gotta the crumb snatchers. I gotta make sure they're asleep, so they're supposed to be at school in the morning. Because if I don't go check and see, she'll be on. One of them will be on her phone all night with another friend that's supposed to be asleep. It's approaching 11 o'clock here, and they have to get up and go to sleep. But I also have to make sure if they need a snack, they get a snack while their nana is at work overnight. So thank you all for joining me. Like I say, I might come back in because I really want to talk about the rewriting of history, or we might wait till tomorrow. But y'all check out the executive orders I talked about tonight. Um, damn, damn. GCPR. Hey, I know we ran 23 minutes over, so you all got what you all asked for because I had been asked to allow you all into some of the conversations that go on after I log off. So tonight, the DJ, what is tonight? What is today? What is today? Today is Wednesday. Woo. So DJ is just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. I didn't even get a text to tell me I was running over. I didn't even get a text to tell me I was running over from the DJ. But yeah, and I was told. So GCPR, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna log out on you now, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. It means whatever it means. Y'all have a nice night or day, wherever you are in the world. GCPR. The rest of you all, like I said, if you want to join later, I don't know, might be early morning conversation. I don't know. I'm an insomniac, and I don't have any motive. I don't have any gym motivation to be up early for in the morning. And it's cold. It's out cold outside. And if you know me, I like cold weather fashion. I just don't like cold weather. But today is I don't know day. Today is I don't know day. Have you ever seen the movie Selma or her? 5 seconds. Somebody give Pirate 5 seconds for me. Yeah, every time Pirate asks me something like that, he gets 5 seconds. Somebody give Pirate 5 second lap. Not more than 5 seconds, because if sometimes he has to talk me down off mountains. Um, yeah. So if you all are up to it, join me later tonight. If not, I'll see y'all later. Movie night. I have Smile 2 lined up, but I'm gonna take tonight off because I do want to do some more executive order reading and go over some things. But I just feel like talking about it because I don't feel like anybody is talking about these issues, and I was going to open up a panel to people who really can talk about them seriously with me, and we would have some conversations about my ideas around what solutions look like. Because I don't I don't have the spoons to deal with people who just want to argue with other people about irrelevant shit over the topics that are going to impact us starting now starting now. I mean, I was holding out hope that maybe some of these people would come around and we would have conversations that were about moving the needle. But still, it's the same arguments with MAGA supporters over why they're MAGA supporters instead of the discussions we need to be having about how we are going to stem the tide, how we're going to protect our immigrant friends and their families, how we're going to work around the executive orders that are being passed that are trying to prosecute those of us who do, or trying to turn the safe sanctuaries we used to have into open season. I was talking to the crumb snatcher, and I was making plans for how to assist people at her school, from people coming in and just, can you wrap your mind around the idea? And like I say, whatever I believe about religion, church is yours. Yeah, but can you just imagine? Because if we start allowing that, this besides the Hitler salute that the Reich salute that Elon Musk did at the Victory Party, these laws are so reminiscent of what we watched come down the pike during the Third Reich, during the beginning of the Third Reich, the consolidation of power into Adolphus, the the incentives to snitch on Jews that was passed, the incentives to not shelter people because you will meet the same fate. That's what we're watching. Now, your phone died. We've seen this before, but so have they. Let's not forget that, Penelope. They seen it before also. And like I keep telling people, stop underestimating your enemy by assuming they're stupid. This is a plan, and the plan has taken into account what went wrong. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking a lot of people are being lulled into this sense of security because they're saying somebody else will take care of it. But when you have co opted all of the somebody else's, then you're delusional if you think that just because it hasn't been done, that it can't be done. They're using the mustache man playbook, but they think they have perfected it. No shade, they don't think. See, that's the thing. I think you all are still underestimating when you use words like they think they have perfected it. They haven't. They have perfected it until they have and they're not just using the mustache. They're just not using Adolphus's playbook. They're using Mao's playbook also. They have, if anything, they have distilled all of that down into a new playbook. They have distilled it. All the shit that didn't work, they threw out. They threw out. All the things that worked, they kept from Mao and from Adolphus. And what we're seeing, we can't rely on what worked against those to work against this. Yeah, the same people saying they would have defended the Nazis are the same people who, uh, yeah, the same people. It's an right. It's like that's like somebody like I have taken revolutionary suicide. I have taken the words of Marcus Garvey. I have taken the words of of Fred Hampton. I have distilled all this down. Malcolm, I've distilled it down and say, hey, Martin even. And I say, hey, this shit does not work. I'm not even going to address this shit because it doesn't work. If I'm going to address it, I'm going to address it from the fact that it doesn't work. This shit, this has potential. And that's what we need to be using. If I can do it, they have smarter people than me that have the ability to steal. They can too. And I'm telling you, a lot of you all underestimate the enemy and their commitment to what they're doing. Because, like I told you the other night, I paraphrased Martin when Martin said that the scope of morality, and he talked about the arc of morality and how it is long and how it bends towards justice. And I said, no, it doesn't just bend towards justice on its own. We must bend it towards justice. If it just went towards justice on its own, we wouldn't have to do anything. We wouldn't have to do anything. We must bend the universe to our will because there's certain people trying to bend it to theirs. And if we are just going to go out to lunch and not fight, then we cannot consider when the plane that you're on crash, you have no one to blame but yourself. I wonder how much I owe this year. I don't even know if I want to know. We're out of here. Y'all tune in. Like I say, I might be back. I'm gonna take Bella. I'm gonna let Bella out because it's no taking her out for a walk. It's snow on the ground. I'm gonna let Bella out. I'm going to check on some things. I'm going to. I should eat. Yeah, I just realized I hadn't eaten. I'm going to eat something, and then I might hop back on a little later if you have any insomniacs. If y'all are up to it. All right. All right. Peace out. I'll talk to you all later. I'm gonna chase a tornado. Cam, let's get it. It's not underestimating, and it's selfish. Later comment. It's not underestimating.